index.tsx, and you can remove everything except the main function, and just remove everything inside the return method, and we're just going to create a pages, and you can remove document.tsx entirely. Now go into index.tsx, and you can remove everything except the main function. Great. Now let's go ahead and let's clean up this project a bit. So go into pages, and you can remove document.tsx entirely.
I think I make mistake when create project. Okay. I don't have a page. I think they changed, so the latest version is generate the art folder, not the base folder.
I'm gonna open my new folder and the styles folder right here. I named it Twitter tutorial, so that's what I'm gonna select. Your project should look something like this. So you should have the pages folder, you should have the public folder and the styles folder right here. And you can actually
I don't have the style folder. Okay, page, where is style? See the logo. Let me do this again. Generate the project again.
Alright, let's start by creating our Next.js project. Go into your terminal and write the following command: npx create-next-app-TypeScript. Name your project. In my case, it's going to be Twitter-tutorial. Say yes for ESLint, no for source. No for app. For import alias, just press enter and
Okay, so we have installed dependencies React DOM next, then installing dev dependency TypeScript, type React, type node, type React DOM, ESLint config next. Okay, let's open the project.
and it should start installing dependencies. Great. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open my newly created folder. So I named it Twitter tutorial, so that's what I'm gonna select. Your project should look something like this. So you should have the pages folder, you should have the public folder and the styles folder right here. And you can actually go into your terminal right now and you can run npm run dev and you should see the Next.js welcome screen on localhost 3000. Great. Now let's go ahead and let's clean up this project a bit. So go into Pages and you can remove document.tsx entirely. Now go into index.tsx and you can remove everything except the main function, and just remove everything inside the return method. And we're just going to create a div element here, which is going to say hello world.
Oh my god. Okay, when I install the extensions Vim, don't know why it's like the editor I couldn't modify the editor anymore. But my ID support the Vim. Hello world.
Great, and you should have something like this in your browser. Now let's go ahead and let's remove this API folder hello.ts. Do not remove the folder which is don't need the hello file right here. Great. And now go into styles right here and you can remove home.module.css and go one more time in styles. In globals.css and you can just remove everything from here. Great. Next, we're going to go ahead and we're going to install Tailwind. So open your terminal again and run the following command: npm install -d tailwind css post css auto prefixer.
npm install tailwind css oops
Great. Now go ahead and run npx tailwind css init-p.
npx
You should have two new files in your project, one called postcss.config.js and another one tailwind.config.js. You want to open tailwind.config.js right here and go into your content array. And we're going to paste the following content here, which is -p. You should have two new files in your project, one called postcss.config.js and another one tailwind.config.js. You want to open tailwind.config.js right here and go into your content array. And we're going to paste the following content here, which is
Why this eyes look different?
a structure for our next JS project. So go ahead and write dot/app/***/ dot open curly brace. braces, and let's write the following file extensions: js, ts, jsx, tsx, like that. Copy this 3 times. For the second one, write pages, and for the last one, just write components, just like that. And now let's go back into our styles globals.css right here, and let's just add some Tailwind directives here. So write add Tailwind base, add Tailwind components, and add Tailwind utilities, like that. And just go ahead and also add the following 2 classes. So root, and just write add apply h-full bg-black, and repeat the same thing for body, add apply h-full bg-black, like that. And now open your terminal again, and let's run the project again. npm run dev. And if you refresh your page, you should see a bit of a different styling. Just like that. You actually won't be able to see the hello world because we just changed our background. So go back into your pages index.tsx and let's add some styles just to confirm our Tailwind is set up correctly. So go ahead and write class name, text, 3xl, text, sky 500. Great job. You have successfully set up the environment. Alright, so in this part of the tutorial, we're gonna add the basic layout of our Twitter clone. So go ahead and open your underscore app.tsx and wrap this component inside a layout component. And just wrap it like this, layout. And you can indent it a little bit. When you save, you're gonna get an error because layout does not exist yet. So just go into components. Sorry, you should not have this folder. So create a new folder called components right here and create a. You're gonna get an error because layout does not exist yet. So just go into components. Sorry, you should not have this folder. So create a new folder called components right here. When you save, you're gonna get an error because layout does not exist yet. So just go into components. Sorry, you should not have this folder. So create a new folder called components right here. And create a file called layout.tsx. Great. Name the component layout, and for now, just write an empty div right here. Go back into underscore. And for now, just write an empty div right here. Go back into underscore app, and let's import this from components/layout like this. If you cannot use the @ you can use the dot sign like this. All right, let's go back into layout and let's create an interface. Interface layout. Layout and let's create an interface. Interface layout props. Sign like this. All right, let's go back into layout and let's create an interface. Interface layout props is gonna have children, which is type of react.react node like this. Go ahead and write react, that functional component right here, and let's paste this layout props right here. And let's extract children from its rows, like this. And now we're gonna paste these children inside this div like this. Great job. Now let's style this div. h-screen bg-black. Let's create another div right here, which is also gonna wrap children. And let's add the following class name here. Container h-pull mx-auto XL EX30 and max W6XL. Great. Now create another div, which is also gonna wrap children, and write class name grid calls 4h pull. All right. And now before children, we are actually create another div right here, which is also going to wrap children, and let's give it some styles. Call span 3 LG call span 2 border x curly brackets, square brackets 1 pixel, and border neutral 800. All right, and now you can see we have this nice little grid right here. All right, and now above this div right here, let's add a component called sidebar. And and we're gonna get an error because sidebar does not exist. So create a new folder inside components called layout, and inside create a new file called sidebar.tsx. You can name it sidebar, and for now, it's just going to return an empty div. And go back into layout, and let's import the sidebar. Since it is in the same folder, we can just use the dot right here. Perfect. And now you can see we have the sidebar, the main content, are our follow bar, which we will create in the future. Great job. Now let's go into sidebar and let's create some items here. So let's start by opening our terminal, and let's install a package. So npm install react-icons. Great. Great. And make sure you run the app again. All right. And now inside the sidebar, let's create a constant called items, which is going to be an array of objects. It's going to have a label called home. It's going to have an href, which is going to point to slash, and it's going to have an icon, which is going to be bs house fill. And we're going to import this bs house fill from React items. So import bs house fill from react-icons/bs. Perfect. And now Now let's create another object with a label of notifications, which is going to point to /notifications. And it's going to use an icon, bs bell fill. Great. And you can import that from here as well. Perfect.
Notification.
Now let's create another object right here, which is going to have a label of profile, The href for now is going to be /users/123. The reason we will put 123 is because it needs to lead to a specific ID, but for now we cannot fetch our current user ID because we have not set up the API yet. So just leave it like this for now and we will come back and fix this. All right, and the icon is going to be FA user. And you can import that from React icons as well, but it needs to be under another path. So import FA user from React-icons/FA. Perfect, good job. All right, now let's go ahead and style our sidebar actually. So class name is going to be call-span-1 h-full pr-4 and md pr-6. Great. Open up another div inside and let's style it the following way. flex-call items.end. Great. And another div with the following class names: space-y-2 lg w dash open square brackets 230 pixels, like that. All right, and now let's create a component sidebar logo, just like this. And of course we're gonna get an error because sidebar logo
sidebar logo here.
Does not exist. So you guessed it. Let's go into components, layout, and create a new file called sidebar logo.tsx. Name it sidebar logo like this, and just return an empty div for now. Let's go back into our sidebar and let's import sidebar logo just so we remove the error. Good job. All right, now what we're gonna do here is first let's import our router. So const router is gonna be use router from next/router like this. All right, Now open up this div and write the following class names. Rounded dash full H-14 W-14 P-4 flex items dash center justify dash center power BG dash blue dash 300 power BG dash opacity dash 10 and cursor dash pointer, and also add transition in the end. All right, and inside the div we're gonna import BS Twitter from React Icons. So go ahead and import BS Twitter from React-icons like this. React-icons / BS, sorry. All right, and let's add some properties to this. So size is gonna be 28 and color is gonna be white. Great, we have our icon right here. Great job.
Sidebar logo. Hmm? So cute.
Yeah. And we're just gonna add an onClick to this div. So onClick, it's gonna be an arrow function, which is just gonna say router.push to / like this. And we can just import this, indent this, sorry. All right, now let's go back into sidebar, and we're going to create an iteration of this items array right here. So just write inside curly braces items.map item, which is going to return sidebar item, and we're going to add some properties. So we're going to add key, which is item.href. You could technically use label or icon, but I think href is always going to be unique. Then of course add href, item.href, label, item.label, and icon, item.icon, like this. And we're gonna get an error because sidebar item does not exist. So let's go into layout and create a new file called sidebar item.tsx. Let's name it sidebar item, and let's just create an empty div as always. Now let's go back to sidebar. and let's import sidebar item the same way we did with sidebar logo, and the error should go away. Now, Now go back into sidebar item and let's create our interface. So interface sidebar item props, which is going to have a label, which is a string, is going to have an href, which is optional, and a string is going to have an icon, which is a type of icon type. And we're going to import icon type from React Icons. So import icon type from React-icons like this. All right. And we're also going to add on click, which is optional. And for now, you can just write it like this. Great. Now let's pass this sidebar item props into a React.functional component like this, and let's extract these items: label, href, icon, and onClick. Great. All right. And now let's style this div. So you're gonna write class name flex dash row items dash center. All right. Now open another div here. This is gonna be mobile first. So class name is gonna be relative rounded dash full h dash 14 w dash 14 flex items dash center justify dash center p dash 4 hover bg dash slate dash 300 hover bg dash opacity dash 10 cursor dash pointer, and on large screens is gonna be hidden. All right. And we're just gonna add icon here. Now you might be wondering, okay, where do we get this icon from? Well, we're gonna get it from this parameter right here. And for that to work, we need to add an alias. So go here in this icon, add a double dot right here, and just write capital icon like this. Great, and now we can use it as a component. Perfect. It's gonna be a self-closing component, and let's give it some attributes. Size is gonna be 28, and color is going to be white. And if you actually collapse the screen a bit, you're gonna be able to see our icons right here.
CT10. Launch.
Great, because we are working mobile first now. Perfect. All right. And just below this div which we created, we're going to create a very similar div, which is going to be desktop first. All right. So write the following class names. It's going to be relative, hidden. On large screens, it's going to be flex, items dash row, gap dash 4, e dash 4, rounded dash full, hover dg dash slate dash 300, hover dg dash opacity dash 10, cursor dash pointer, and items dash center, like this. And I made a mistake here. It's items dash center, not items dot row. So you don't need that last one. All right. And now inside, we're gonna do the exact same thing. So we're gonna add an icon, which is gonna have a size of 24 and a color of white. But also, it's gonna have a label. So we can actually stretch the screen a bit now, and you should still see these icons right here. But we're also gonna add a label. So write a paragraph right here, which is gonna use the label in curly brackets. you're not going to be able to see it right now because, as you can see, it's color black. So let's style this paragraph. Class name is going to be hidden, but on large screens, it's going to be block. It's going to have text-white and text-XL. Great job. And now we have our desktop version of the sidebar, but we can also collapse the screen and see how it looks on mobile. Great job. All right. Now let's go back into sidebar. You can close all the other things, and we're going to add another sidebar item, which is going to be separate from these iteration items. So write sidebar item right here, and it's going to have the following. It's going to have onClick, which for now is just going to be an empty string. An icon is going to be BI logout, which we are going to import from React icons. So go to the top and just write import BI logout from React. React-icons/vi. Perfect. And let's give it a label of logout. Great, and now we have the logout as well. And when we collapse, it is just an icon. Great job. All right, and just below this sidebar item of logout, we're gonna add another component called sidebar tweet button. Great, and we're gonna get an error because it doesn't exist. So go ahead into your layout and create sidebar tweet button.tsx. We can name it sidebar tweet button, and as always, let's just create an empty div like this. Let's go back into sidebar and let's import it so we fix the error. It should be imported the same way as the other two items. All right. Now let's import router, const router, from use router, like this. You can import that from next/router. And let's do some styling on this div. So, actually this first div is not gonna have any styling. All it's gonna do is onClick, and it's just gonna redirect to a home page. So router.push/ like this. Write another div inside, and this div will have some classes. Alright, so write empty-6 LG hidden, so again, mobile first, rounded-full h-14w-14p-4 flex items-center justify-center dg-sky 500 hover dg-opacity-80 transition and cursor-pointer. Alright, and the icon we're going to use is FA feather, which is going to have a size of 24 and the color of white. And of course, we have to import FA feather from React icons. Go ahead and write import FA feather from react-icons/FA like this. Alright, and you can actually collapse your screen, and guess spot, the tweet icon is right here. Great. And now let's do the same thing for desktop. So just below this div right here, create another div, and we're gonna style it again. So class name, and write empty-6 hidden. On large screens, it's going to be block px4 py2 rounded dash full bg dash sky 500 hover bg dash opacity dash 90 cursor dash pointer and transition as well. Great. And now we're just going to add a paragraph right here. As you can see, we have our little button here. We will add a paragraph which is just going to say tweet. And let's style the paragraph. So class name is going to be hidden. On large screens, it's going to be block text dash center font dash semi-bold text dash white and text dash square brackets 20 pixels. Perfect.
So cute. Where am I now? Still about to listen. Let's have some fun. Where am I? Where am I? Where am I?
Perfect. We have our tweet button, and if we collapse everything, it turns into a nice little mobile button. Great, great job. Now let's go to a nice little mobile button. Great, great. We collapse everything, it turns into a nice little mobile.
What is this now? Why this not disappear? See class name is anti-sick healing. Last block pixel for route for here edge is hidden. This okay, this okay. Large hidden. Okay.
Transition and cursor dash pointer. All right. And the icon we're going to use is FA feather, which is going to have a size of 24 and the color of white. And of course, we have to import FA feather from React icons. So go ahead and write import FA feather from react-icons/FA like this. All right. And you can actually collapse your screen. And guess what? The tweet icon is right here. Great. And now let's do the same thing for desktop. So just below this div right here, create another div, and we're going to style it again. So class name, and write empty-6 hidden. On large screens, it's going to be block px4 py2 rounded-full bg-sky 500 hover bg-opacity-90 cursor pointer and transition as well. Great. And now we're just going to add a paragraph right here. As you can see, we have our little button here. We will add a paragraph which is just going to say tweet. And let's style the paragraph. So class name is going to be hidden. On large screens, it's going to be block text-center font-semi-bold text-white and text-square brackets 20 pixels. Perfect. We have our tweet button, and if we collapse everything, it turns into a nice little mobile button. Great, great job. Now let's go back into our sidebar and we can close everything else. And that's actually it for sidebar for now. And we can actually go back into our layout component right here. And just below this div right here, we can add another component called follow bar, like this. And it's going to throw an error because it doesn't exist.
Sidebar. Under the children. Sidebar layout.
So go ahead and go to your layout and create a new file called follow-bar.tsx. Great. Name the component follow-bar, and for now, just write an empty div inside, go back into layout, and let's fix the error. Perfect. It should be imported the same way as you did with the sidebar. Great. And now let's style our follow bar. Perfect. So let's style this div first. Class name is going to be px-6 py-4 hidden, but on large screens is going to be visible in the form of block. Great. Another div inside of that which is going to have a bg-neutral-800 rounded-xl mp-4. Perfect. And now create an h2 element right here, which is going to say who to follow. And let's add some class names. So class name is going to be text-white, text-xl, and font-semi-bold. Great. And let's just fix a typo. So I wrote bg natural is supposed to be neutral. Perfect. And below this h2, we're actually going to open another div right here. And we're going to give it the following class name. It's going to be flex-all cap-6 empty-4. And we're going to write a comment here to do user list, because for
follow bar so many things to do. Exit by bar hidden. Y from semicolon.
for now, we cannot fetch any users. Great. And now we're going to edit this main index page. We're going to remove hello world, and we're just going to add a simple header component. So close everything and go into pages, index.tsx right here. And for now, you can remove everything and just write an empty fragment like this. And we're going to write a component called header with a label called home. And we're gonna get an error because header does not exist. So go into your component. Components and create a new file called header.tsx. Name the component header, and let's just fix the error by giving it an empty div. Go back into your pages index tsx and import header from add components/header. Again, if you can't use this, you can use dot dot. All right. And now let's style this header component right here. First, let's actually import the router again. So const router, use router from next/router. And we're gonna write a function called const handle back. It's gonna be a use fallback. And all we're gonna write for now is gonna be router.back, like this. And just make sure you use the router dependency in this handleback function. Great. All right. Now let's write the interface for header. So interface header props is gonna be label, which is a string, and it should be required, so no question mark here. And another prop called show back arrow, which is optional, and it is a boolean. Now let's write here React that functional component, and let's just paste this header props right here. And now we can extract the label and show back arrow props from here. Perfect. And now let's get to styling. So
Now let's get started. Okay, let's try the interface.
class name, order dash b dash square brackets 1 pixel, border dash neutral dash 800, and padding of 5. And as you can see, we have our little header right here. Great. Now create another div right here, class name, flex dash row, items dash center gap dash 2. All right. And now we're going to create a conditional here, show back arrow, and end, and open the return function, and we're going to write bi arrow back. And let's import this from React icons. So import bi arrow back from react-icons/b. BI. All right. And we're going to add some properties here. We're going to say on click to be handle back, color, it's going to be white, size is going to be 20. We're going to give it some class name. Cursor dash pointer, cover, opacity 70, and transition. All right. And just below this conditional, we're going to write an H1, which is going to say label, like this. And we're just going to give it the class name, text dash white, text dash XL, font dash semi-bold. Perfect. We have our reusable header component. And I just want to show you, if you go into your index right here and add a prop show back arrow, it's actually going to hold this back arrow right here, but we do not need this in the index file. Great job. You just finished the layout and you made the entire thing responsive. Amazing job.